Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. You've got The Local Show. Thank you, folks, for carving out that
Tom,
special.
try that again.
Carving out. Speaking of carving,
yes.
Can you believe that Thanksgiving is here?
I know.
Good golly. We have the house completely decorated. My 24-year-old, who's, like I say, she's working on her master's, and she's student teaching and everything. So I know she'll be out of the house sooner or later, and she'll get a good job. But, now that she's home, she loves to spend our money. So I get nervous every time she says, "Can I have the card? Mom said it's okay."
Oh, it's going to make a mark.
And she pretends like she's going grocery shopping.
Right.
Well, she came back with all these Christmas decorations.
Did you tell you how much money she saved?
No, she didn't.
Then give me that line. Look at all the money I saved.
And she decorated the whole house. It looks like a Hallmark movie. And we're all Christmased out and ready for Thanksgiving and everything. And it's like, it went from like 0 to 100. It was like I came up from the basement and I was all of a sudden in Christmas land. So.
Yeah, there's that to it. And then there's the other side. For us, there's been a lot of loss. Thanksgiving is not what it was.
No, yeah. We're very
years
thin.
ago.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I might almost have to start getting together with you.
There we go.
It's desperate.
But, you
wouldn't have to worry about the turkey.
Yeah, there we go. There you go.
But, my sister's family, they've moved away, and the kids. We've got one son here. The other one's out in Idaho.
Yeah.
Dad's gone.
Right.
Where we had to add tables, and there was a kids' table pretty much this year because my sister's going south with her. We could probably sit at the kids' table.
Well, at least
so
you got your mom.
It goes from 15 to 5. It's different, and we do, and it's we're blessed, and it's just different times and seasons, and it's just different.
Yeah, it really is. Maybe we should start getting together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, have them come over and everything. Just the pressure, then you have to make sure you get cook anyway. Yeah. So we'll leave that alone.
We'll meet at a restaurant, Tom. There'll be no pressure will all be on them.
That would be, that's what my dad used to do.
Smart man.
Yeah, let's go out and just go to a restaurant. All right, we're going to talk with Brian Dumond right now. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. How are you, Brian?
I'm well. How are you guys today?
Hanging right in there, buddy. Hanging in there. GeddesFederal.com. GeddesFederal.com. Lots going on in banking world. First, you are the president, and you still make time to come here, which speaks volumes to what Geddes is all about. People can walk in and talk to local people. They might see their friends, their neighbors, and everything that have been working there for a long time. And you can ask questions that are relevant to the area that we live in, and then you make time yourself to be seen and heard and all that, and that's wonderful as a president of a bank.
Well, I think it's important, especially if you're going to be a local bank, to have that presence. I mean, if I see people are waiting, because from time to time we get busy, I'll offer to get them coffee. I mean,
That's right.
because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
People are coming into our financial institution, and we should be gracious hosts as well as take care of them.
Sure. That makes sense.
You know how to make coffee, Brian?
I know how to put the K cup in the right slot, so I'm good at that.
I've been on a few Zoom calls with Brian. He needs technical support, Tom, most of the time.
Yeah. Well, that's different than a coffee
I'm sorry.
maker.
No, the craziest thing about that is Steve's right. I do need technical support, but what he doesn't know is I have a minor in computer science.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I do, and so the thing is I can program in COBOL,
yeah,
and I can program in Fortran and Pascal,
I remember those languages,
and all those. But ask me to hook up a Zoom call, and I struggle.
Ryan, I have help too. So I have people. I yell. I go, Sonia or Lori or somebody.
Yeah, Steve is definitely not. That's not his area. Yeah. But I know something that could be Brian's area. Somebody had asked me the other day what an arm is, and of course I held up my.
You can't help yourself.
My arm, just because I'm that kind of guy. But what is an arm in terms of banking?
Well, an arm is an adjustable rate mortgage, and at times of rising rates like we're in now, that sounds about the most scary thing.
Well, look, the rates go up when you pay more. I wouldn't want to do that.
But for some people, it's the best deal out there. Let me tell you why.
Yes.
There's different products. We offer a 10-1 arm, a 7-1 arm, and a 5-1 arm. Okay. And in the products that we're offering them, the 10-1 isn't, the rate stays the same for 10 years. After that 10 years, then the rate will adjust every year. But here's the better part of it. It amortizes like a 30-year loan. So you get a low payment, and that interest rate is fixed for 10 years. So let's say I'm a new family, and I know that we're going to be having 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 kids, and we're going to need another house down the road.
Yeah.
If you're looking ahead and saying, in 10 years, we're going to be in another home, this might be the opportunity for you to get the house you want at a lower interest rate, because ARMs are less of an interest rate than the regular fixed rate loans. So if you were to get a 30-year loan or a 20-year fixed rate loan, chances are that's significantly higher. I mean, to the extent of a half, 3/4, or 1% higher than a 10-1 arm.
Yeah.
And a 5-1 arm would be less, and a 7-1 arm, et cetera.
Sure. So it sounds, it actually sounds like a good deal when you say it that way. What's a balloon? I've heard people say, I got a balloon mortgage. What is that? This is not a balloon.
This is not a balloon at all, because a balloon would be something to the effect that you pay a short term for a short amount for a while, and then all of a sudden you have this humongous payment you have to make at the end.
Wow.
Okay. A 10-1 arm is going to be, it goes 10 years fixed. Then after, in the 11th year, it'll adjust with one of the treasuries and plus some other factors. And then the next year it'll adjust, and the next year it'll adjust. It can work in your favor, where it could go down or it could go up. But for that 10-year period,
at least you're locked in.
You're locked in. And it's at a lower rate than you can get a normal fixed.
And how long do people typically keep their homes? I know it's all over the place, but there's some averages and things, right?
Right. So in a nutshell, they probably between 7 to 10 years is, right now would be closer to the 10-year time frame, just because rates are going up. So people are doing a lot more home equities and that kind of thing to stay in the house they're in. But when all is said and done, if you think about it, I mean, how many houses do people have in their lifetimes? I mean, usually it's 3 or 4.
Right.
And so that averages every 7 to 10 years of making a change.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're talking with Brian Dumond. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Brian, there's a lot of talk about... I lost my place. Tom,
you know what I've been hearing?
No, what?
That people are nervous of the stock market.
Well, yeah, that's
and they're
true,
all uptight with that, and people are putting some of their money into maybe CDs or something like that, Brian?
Well, it's funny because I was talking about rates going up on the mortgage side, but rates are going up on the savings side too, which is
a good thing.
Which people have been waiting and waiting and waiting for. And there are deals to be had with certificates of deposit. And so really focusing in on what is out there, what are the specials. Asking about the specials is the way to go, because really there are some really good specials out there.
Yeah.
And then there's some unique products out there that you might want to ask about. And you look for, we call them one-time bump features, but you get a CD, and let's say it's a particular term, but any time during that term, if the rate goes up on that CD, you can adjust your CD rate once.
Oh, okay.
So that's built in to allow for inflation, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you have to be the one that calls up Geddes Federal and says, hey, I've got this, let's say, 30-month CD with a one-time bump. I took it out, and it was in the 3% range. Now it's in the 4.5% range. I want to adjust my rate.
Nice.
But to have the ability to do that.
Yeah, and somebody answer the phone. And, people you can talk with.
That's right. Great. Absolutely right.
All right. Well, I found what my question is, but now I can't ask it because we're out of time. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'll ask him off the air. All right, Brian. Thank you so much. Brian Dumond right there, president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And it's always a pleasure. You have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Coming up, we're going to talk with Dr. Richard Malera. He's the owner of Malera Eye Care and Eyewear. anywhere, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Getting to Geddes.